Hello and welcome back to Tales from the Age of Men. And let me tell you something right now. The modding team have been at work. Oh yes, they have been at work so hard that I am absolutely gobsmacked. I am flabbergasted. I am shocked. And, well, I am very impressed as well. If you would like to check out the mod, there is a link in the description. And this is going to be kind of like an overview of what's been going on in the development of the mod. Just bear in mind that it is still very much a work in progress. I must stress that to you right now because it is still obviously being worked on and there are a lot of things that are unfinished and so on. But I am so excited about this mod. It's actually insane. We're going to go straight on in. And this is... I would love to create a series on this. This is like the supporter exclusive version that's currently available right now. And I really wanted to show you this just purely because it is so impressive. It's just not even funny how impressive it is. All right. This is the new map, as you can quite clearly tell. Yes, this is the new map. As you can see, we have the stewardship of Gondor, the clans of Dunland, the overlordship of Dol Guldur, as well as all the others, you know. Everything else, and a lot of other things, too. And what's crazy about this, and I haven't even clicked on it yet, right? But let's just say that, for example, if I wanted to play as Gundabad, boom, look at what they have available over there on the right side of the screen. Look at everything that they're showing you. There are so many improvements to this mod, and I am absolutely blown away by just this, and there's so much more to see. There is so much more, and I will show you exactly everything that's going on, and hopefully I won't miss anything in this video. So, without further ado, let's go through all of the factions here. This is going to be a very slow-paced video, so if you don't like that, that's obviously fine and everything, but you can just skip ahead if you want to see other things. But generally, I'm always very interested about this kind of stuff, and look at this. Look at this. Strengths, weaknesses, we've got perks, we've got special units, we've got bonuses. There's so much stuff to look at here. And by the way, if you obviously want to see how far this mod has come since the previous versions, there will be links in the description for my series that I've created on a bunch of factions in this mod. I've done Gondor, I've done Gundabad, of course, but yeah, we've also done elves as well. Anyway, the point is, there are so many useful, very, very cool pieces of information on the side here. Let's just look at this. We literally have... I don't even know what to really even say about this stuff because there's so much really, really cool stuff here. Look at this. They've got special units, by the way. There are new abilities. Yes, there are classes. There are classes that you can choose to play as in this. And they all have unique abilities. They all have unique abilities, unique passives, and... oh, it's so good. It's so, so good. It really is. Okay. So, I have no idea what I'm going to play as. I think I'm probably just going to go with the old classic, and we're just going to play as Mordor here. I'm sure everyone wants to see Mordor. If you don't want to see Mordor, then that's obviously fine. Then we're going to be taking a look at the other classes in due time anyway, and I would love to be able to create a series on every single one of these guys, because it feels very, very different. So let's just go through all of the things that we have available as Mordor here. So our perks, the Dark Lord's Will, army influence cost reduced by 60%. Sauron's hordes need no consensus. I love the little flavor text there. That's always very fun. And then we also have Sauron's Wrath, 25% raid damage, and 5% party speed on plains and swamps. Again, massive bonuses right there. Obviously, every single faction is going to have these kinds of bonuses. Just bear that in mind, right? And they're all going to be different. Creatures of the Dark, 10% party speed at night. The eyes of Mordor never sleep. And then we also have special units, Black Uruk, elite shock infantry from Barad-dûr, and Cave Troll, a pit-bred siege beast, and the Morgul bowmen, poisoned arrow archers of Minas Morgul. And there is, and I'm going to tell you right now, small minor spoiler here, you know, for the next 2 minutes, because let's face it, we're going to get there in just a second. There is a class that buffs archer gameplay. So if you want to play as a Morgul bowman commander, then you can do that. And it's very, very fun. Okay, so we also got bonuses here, so you can obviously go through all of that. I mean, there's just so much stuff here, it's crazy. Then they also have strengths, vast, cheap armies, almost no influence required to march, a knight fighting mastery, self-sufficient via raiding, and Nern. I don't know what Nern means. My bad. I don't know. And otherwise, they also have obviously trolls and black uruks. And then we of course have weaknesses here as well, because every single faction's got to have weaknesses. And they have dark tribute drains wages. They are universally hated, and they have slow special unit replacement. So it's very, very difficult to replace the cave trolls and so on and so forth. And if we go over here, for example, these are. Who are these guys again? These are the guys with the Mumakil guys, right? They're the, I can't remember, Haradrim? I think they are them. Yes, they are the Haradrim here. And they are insane because they actually have the elephants. Yes, they do. As you can see, Mumakil war beasts right there. Just bear in mind that obviously all of this is a work in progress, so if you experience crashes or anything like that, if you decide to become a supporter of the mod, then you know what's going on. It's a work in progress, so you can just expect that kind of thing. But there are so many really, really cool factions that you can play at. Literally, look at this. You can even play as Umbar if you want to. Obviously, this is probably the least well fleshed out. I mean, I think the yellow flags, are the yellow flags actually like fully fleshed out, or I actually have no idea what to really take away from that, but it doesn't really matter because the amount of absolutely insane stuff that they've done here is incredible. As you can see, Gondor, strengths, balanced troop variety, strong morale and loyalty, disciplined garrisons, influence, rich command, weaknesses, war-depleted lands, grow slowly, many borders to defend, and elite units bound to specific regions. We know that. Oh yes, we've played as them before, so we already know what's going on with that. And then, of course, you also have the Kingdom of Imladris. They even have difficulty ratings as well, by the way. So if you want to see the difficulty ratings, you want to see how easy or hard certain factions are to play, then you can obviously see that. These guys, obviously, as you might expect, they have incredibly strong units. And of course, they're going to be, equivalent to that because everyone is kind of difficult to, it's kind of difficult to expand their armies because they cost more in regards to capacity. So, yeah, cannot expand far from the valley. And then they have fading people, few replacements, elven pride raises influence costs, and so on. Okay. So, yeah, as I said, we will go and start with Mordor here. Obviously, we can play as Uruk, Orc, or Human. So you can literally play as Human if you so desire. I think we're probably just going to play Uruk because they're kind of fun. I'm not really going to customize this guy at all, even though you can customize them quite a great deal. I mean, I can just randomly just choose some guy. And then we are literally, I'm not going to actually bother with speccing any of my traits right now because all this video is just taking a look at some of the wonderful things that have been going on with this mod. And that's what I wanted to show you. And if we are going to create a series at some point in the future, here it is. This is our class selection. So we have a Black Uruk captain, a Mulkahili cultist, which is a bowman, as you can see from the arrows there. We have a Snaga rider, which is indeed obviously a mounted unit, and then we have a towering Olagai war troll who wades into the thickest fighting as a living battering ram, soaking up tremendous punishment and hammering foes into the ground with devastating overhead blows. Now, bear in mind, this is probably going to cause some issues as I'm talking about, various crashes, some other things, so just bear that in mind, and obviously at some point that will be all smoothed out and stuff like that. I'm not going to play as that right now. I'm just going to go for the standard Black Uruk captain here, and we're going to see what we can do with that. And indeed, obviously, we can choose a wide variety of very, very cool things, very, very cool banners. You can change the sigil color and everything. And we can even do something like that, I guess. I have no idea what to really do, so I'm just going to go with this. And I am actually not going to name him anything. I'm just going to name him something by default here. Bruce Uruk. I know, it's absolutely ridiculous, but you know, I'm going to do that because I'm not actually, I don't know, I might fight, I don't know, I might fight in this, I don't know whether I will. I think it might be quite fun, but as I said, this is more of a video just to kind of give you an overview of what's going on and how incredible a lot of the changes actually are. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how crazy cool this already looks just from the new banners, the new banner names that they've got on the towns here. And I am so looking forward to showing you the career options in just a second. So here it is. So obviously we've got our standard perk trees and everything, and we've got some very, very nice new looking menus and everything like that. Very much love that. But there's this new little button up here. Yes, a new little button. And if we press on this, bear in mind, as I said, still a work in progress, so they don't have icons or anything like that for these abilities, but there are abilities and passives and all kinds of crazy cool things on every single one of these menus here. And this is great. This is just another one of the things that is going to make this mod so extremely fun to play. I love this kind of stuff, and indeed, look at this. Look at this. This is our career ability. It's called Blood Rage. Enter a blood-fueled rage, inspiring nearby Black Uruks. Boosts 15% melee damage and 10% damage reduction to allies within 50 meters for 8 seconds. Now, I don't know what the cooldown is, but I'm assuming it's not that much, because I played as one of the archer classes for Mordor, and the cooldown was only 15 seconds. So I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat similar. So if it's 15 seconds or 20 seconds or something like that, that's absolutely fantastic. I really, really love that. So if we take a look at some of the perks that you can get here from your career options, these are going to be really, really fun in my opinion as well. So you can see here, look at this. 25 increased health, 3% increased troop morale. Not a big fan of this. I don't think troop morale is that useful, but that doesn't really matter, you know. I mean, this can be changed or not. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Anyway, 5% blunt resistance. That's always nice. You know, you never know when you're going to get bonked on the head by a big mace. And then we have 5% increased melee damage. And then, tempered by Forge and War, your hide turns blades. Blood Rage radius +3. So there you go. That obviously increases your radius of that. And then you have, look at this, plus 5% swing speed, minus 4% troop wages, plus 30 health, plus 5% armor penetration, and, of course, Blood Rage duration increase. And that's just the first level, right? That's just the first level. And then we have a bunch of others. So we have, look at this, plus 35 health, plus 8% cutting resistance. What is this one? I don't actually know what this one says. I can't see that because I'm not level 10. But you know what? Let's get to level 10. Alright, so we're now level something. I don't actually know what level we are, but we're now level something, and that allows us to see exactly what we wanted to see before, which is we get additional 6% troop damage. We get 8% more melee damage. Then we have Blood Rage charge cost, minus 20. Oh, wait a minute. Does that mean that Blood Rage is boosted by your... by your attacks, so it maybe doesn't have a standard cooldown. Maybe it doesn't have a standard cooldown. Maybe it's more about how many kills you get or how much blood you shed in the heat of battle. That would be very interesting. And then we also have the other one here, which provides us with yet more HP. How much HP are we going to get for this? This is crazy. This is so much HP here. And then we have minus 5% troop wages, 10% increased resistance to range. That's always going to be nice. And then 6% troop morale. Again, I don't really care that much about troop morale, but maybe it is actually going to make a big difference because you're going to be running around with a really massive army, so it could very well make a big difference to this. Then we have obviously Blood Rage duration increase, so 8 seconds plus 4 seconds, that's 12 seconds. Then we have another 2 seconds, so that's 14 seconds already. That's basically almost doubled it. And then we have our last tier up here, which requires level 20. I like the fact that it only requires levels. I think that's really, really fun because obviously as time goes on, you know, I think that really makes a lot of sense because let's face it, you know, the first thing that you get right here is just some random stuff at the bottom. And then once you get to level 10, you get some better stuff. And then once you get to level 20, you've got these crazy cool things. So 10% increased troop damage. Plus 4 party size. Okay, yeah, no, I think that I think that's probably a placeholder. I think that is probably a placeholder because plus 4 party size. I don't think that's correct. I think that's probably going to be more like plus 40 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, plus 75 health, plus 12% melee damage, blood rage radius plus 5, so it incorporates even more of your troops. I mean, you're going to have a massive army, so even more of your troops are going to be crazy good. Then you have another party size increase. Yet again, I don't think that it's meant to be plus 5. I think this is probably meant to be plus 50. I would say it is probably meant to be plus 50, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But personally, for me, I think it's probably going to be plus 50. Then we have plus 12% battle renown gain. That's cool. I love seeing something that changes how much whatever you get, you know. So for example, renown, influence, or you know, any number of things. And there's also a new resource by the name of war spoils. I'm going to show you that in just a second. I don't actually know what war spoils does, but I'm going to show you nevertheless. Anyway, 5% increased party movement speed. Yeah, give me that. Thank you very much. I love party movement speed increases. And then we get plus 12% troop damage. And then, of course, we get blood rage charge cost minus 30, which is absolutely amazing. Because imagine this. This is minus 30, and then we have this, which is minus 20. So that's minus 50. So I would assume that you need... I don't know whether you need like 100 damage done, or 10 kills, or 5 kills, or whatever. But whatever that means... we're going to be getting a minus 50 cost on that, which is really quite fantastic. So technically what I could do is I could increase all of this, as you can see. And let me just see if I can actually do this properly. It is a little bit, you know, a little bit finicky right now, because obviously it is still a work in progress. And we're just going to do that. I have no idea. I have no idea what's actually good right there. But yeah, we're just going to do that. And then we can take a look at some of the troops. I actually don't know whether they've changed anything about the troop trees. I was so excited about the career options that I basically just went like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna record something on this. There's war spoils. So war spoils, as you can see, dependent on what you're doing. So if you're doing a battle, you get plus 14. You also get war spoils from income. You get raids, you know, sieges, and per prisoner. I don't know what that means. So because we already have money, right? So we have money, we have influence, we have renown, we have stuff like that, and then also we have food, of course. I do need to buy some food before we actually move off here, because otherwise we're going to run out, and that's going to be embarrassing. So yeah, let's just... okay, I don't have any horses, which is also kind of embarrassing, but there you go. And then we're just going to make our way down here. Now, there are a significant amount of mod options as well, and I'm talking about massive amounts of mod options, like insane amounts. So there's a lot of other submods that have been incorporated into this mod. So let's just take a quick look. I'm gonna save real fast. So we have Black Uruk Grunts right here, and as you can see, this is what they level up into. So you can see here that they actually level up into Black Uruk Shield Bearers, Shield Guards, and then Baradur Guards. And they have really, really nice stats. And if you want to, you can, of course, go for these guys. I actually don't know. Let's see. Minas Morgul. Is there a way for me to find out? Okay, that doesn't seem like it. I was kind of hoping that maybe what we'd be able to do, maybe I can actually check their troops by Mordor itself. You know, like by the troop screen right here. Yeah, here we go. So this is probably going to be where we can actually find out, you know, truly what's going on. Because as you can see, there's an armor troll right there. Super, super fun. And then we also have Morannon units. So yeah, so you can see here, we have Nern units, Morannon units, Black Uruks. We have regular orcs. And then I believe that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm assuming... I have no idea where to... yeah, maybe these guys? I guess the heavy archers are the ones to go for, right? Maybe the crossbows, something like that. I think they're probably going to be pretty fun. I have no idea for me personally, but yeah. And as you can see, there's obviously a huge amount more to actually look at here. You know, you obviously got the Gondorians, massive amounts of different Gondorians there. And I actually wonder, they have the... yeah, they've got the sharpshooters. Once again, look at these guys. These guys are insane. 280 bow skill for them. Yeah, some of these are just going to absolutely destroy. I know for a fact that these archers... Wait. Are these... Wait a minute. Where are the archers that I was looking at beforehand? I actually can't remember where they are. But you've got Swan Knights, obviously, as well. and that's very fun. But yeah, massive amounts of very, very cool things to look at here. So much stuff has been added and changed, and obviously we have elephant riders. It's going to take a little bit of time for the texture, model, whatever to load. There it is. Unfortunately, I can't really show you. I don't know whether I can show you that in combat. I'm going to try it, actually. Alright, so before we actually go into any fights whatsoever, I kind of want to show you a little bit more about some of the higher level units that you're going to be facing in the mod eventually, where, yeah, obviously some of these things are still going to be changed, you know, all that wonderful stuff. You already know about the disclaimer, right? So, anyway, as you can see right here, we have the Rune troop tree. Rune's troop tree is absolutely incredible, by the way. This is their noble troop line, right? So this is where you're going to be going to castles and so on and so forth and recruiting them from there. Now, these guys are insanely strong, and at the very least, look at what you can get here from a Dragon Wrath Obsidian Knight. 385 polearm skill, 378 riding skill. And then their one-handed skill is nothing to sniff at either, and they look absolutely amazing. Then you also have the Obsidian Warbow right here, who have 290 in bows. You have the War Reaver, which is obviously a more of a berserkerish kind of character. It does have polearms, two-handed, one-handed, very good at basically everything. Then you have heavy infantry here with shield. So all of their troops are exceedingly balanced, very, very nicely looking right here as well, because you can literally play pretty much any strategy you want with Rune, like here, right? Like look what we've got. We've got bowmen, we've got berserker-ish kind of like shock troops, and then we got shields, right? Sword and board guys, and then we got cavalry, heavy cavalry with lancers as well. So just imagine that. That's crazy, crazy good. And then we also have goblins, by the way. I didn't actually show you this, but yes, there is actually a full goblin troop tree. Obviously, these guys are looking very, very standard at the moment, because let's face it, they're probably gonna, you know, they're still a work in progress, I assume. But yes, as you can see, these guys all have really good stats too. So goblins, yeah, they're gonna be pretty dangerous. They're gonna be pretty dangerous. Anyway, as you can see, I do have some elephant riders here. I will show you their stats as well, because let's face it, I haven't showed you that yet, which is probably one of the main things that you're kind of excited about, I guess. But yes, anyway, there you go. They have 380 in polearms, 290 in bows, and 385 in riding skill. Obviously, once again, all of this stuff is potentially all placeholder. You never know whether this is going to get changed or anything like that, but I just wanted to show you it anyway, because this is extremely exciting to me personally. Then you also, of course, have Rivendell. I thought I'd grab one of these guys just to kind of show you a little bit about, you know, what they're going to be, you know, doing, because they are just insanely strong, as you might expect. And they have, I mean, look at that. They are literally having almost 400 in every single combat skill, which is very, very powerful. Then you, of course, have the Ithilien Rangers. As we know, they are very, very strong too. These are, of course, from Gondor. They have 300 in bows, which is not bad at all for a human, right? Not bad at all. And then we also have Mirkwood, my personal favorite elven faction. I don't know why. I just kind of, I don't know. I just kind of vibe with their troop tree. I like them quite a bit. Their cavalry is pretty nice, but I personally really love the fact that they have 370 in bows. They also have palace guards, which are extremely, extremely nice, because they do come with spears and shields. So they're amazing against cavalry, as you might expect. And then obviously you've got the Glavesmen as well, which are very, very good against cavalry too. And then the heavy infantry with those guys as well, if you want to use the swordsman instead. So they're really, really fun too. And then, of course, as I said, you also have Rune there. And then we have Dol Guldur. And this is incredible too, because these guys, they have 295 in bows. And these level up from noble troops as well, just so you know, right? So they have 295 in bows, so relatively similar to the Ithilien Ranger. And then you, of course, have a shock troop. So this guy has a massive two-handed axe. Then you have the Shadow Guards, which are heavy infantry. And then you have some cavalry as well. So these guys are kind of similar to Rune in a way, but they do have some different things going on here. Like, for example, these guys are actually better at capturing prisoners. As you can see right there, this guy is using a mace, so he's going to be a lot better at capturing people than Rune would be, I assume, at least. Let me actually just take a quick look and actually see whether that's the case. Yeah, no, they are actually using a mace as well, but they have the addition of a spear. So you can see that obviously Dol Guldur, they're not actually that good at dealing with cavalry unless you specifically want to do that. So very, very exciting stuff right here. All right, so what we're going to do is, first of all, I should probably should I show you the map? Yes, I should probably show you the map. I haven't done that yet, have I? I mean, you've already seen the map technically, but yeah. Anyway, this is obviously, wait a minute, where am I right now? I am absolutely lost. Ah, there we go. Okay, perfect. This is where Gundabad is, obviously, and this is where Erebor and Dale are, and they have insanely expanded stuff. I'm actually very, very impressed, and I have no idea how anyone is going to conquer all of this, but yes, good luck. Good luck to you, sir. Yes, good luck. It's going to be kind of harsh, but yeah, you can see here. Obviously, they've expanded the desert territories as well, and even added. I think they've added Goblin Town, because I don't remember seeing Goblin Town beforehand. But maybe that's just me. I don't remember seeing that, but I would be very, very interested in creating a goblin character, or at least I think that's going to be super fun. And yeah, we're going to go into a battle and see how the elephants look. It might crash, so just, you know, just kind of maybe expect that. I don't know. Maybe expect that. Oh, hello. Wait a minute. Yeah, I kind of wanted to go in there versus those looters, but that's not going to happen. That's going to be they're going to be killed by those guys. Aha, okay, oh, I see. I just got a message that basically said that one of my elite troops has deserted because I don't have any war spoils. Okay, oh, I see where they're going with that. All right, so that means that elite troops require war spoils if you are... I literally just took these guys prisoner because I didn't expect them to do that. Oh well, never mind. We do have some war spoils, as you can see right there. That's kind of partially what I wanted to show you, but obviously the funny thing is my war spoils, as you can quite clearly tell, are immediately eaten up because we have so many elite troops. But hopefully I can find another looter party that will be able to fight. Alright, so here we go. This is our army right here. As you can see, we do have our elephants. Unfortunately, 2 of them did actually end up leaving in the, shall we say, war spoils shortage that we have. Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. But, as you can see, we do have our special ability. And that is our special ability down there. Obviously, this is very much, once again, work in progress, placeholder, whatever. There's probably going to be some kind of icon there or whatever, as and when, you know, they add it. But the functionality, boom, there it is. We activated it. Now I have no idea. Oh no, it is 15 seconds. Look at that. It is a 15-second cooldown, so we don't actually have to do anything, you know, special to be able to activate it or anything like that, which I personally like a great deal. I also love the fact that it has a message when it tells you when your ability is ready. And I gotta say, I actually think that that's really, really fun. Where are my elephants? Ah, okay, there they are. They're actually doing stuff. I actually don't know how effective they actually are. I mean, you can see here, obviously they are still very much, you know, again, in development. They are still very much in development, but I love the fact that they are walking. Look at them. They're walking around. They're lurking for the next kill. And yeah, there you go. That's it. That is a nice victory for us right there. I mean, obviously it was pretty easy because, let's face it, you know, we're only against Corsairs of Umbar, and as I said, I wasn't really going to, you know, play this, you know, legitimately because, as I said, this is just an overview. But yeah, they didn't get any kills, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I would assume that that is just because they are still being worked on. All right, so let's see how much we actually get, because obviously we're going to be getting probably quite a lot of war spoils for this, maybe. I don't actually know how much we're going to get for this, because this is a much larger party than we faced beforehand, because what we had before was just a bunch of looters. No, it is actually the same. I believe it seems to be about the same. So what I would personally say right now, and I'm going to theory craft about this a very small amount. What I'd personally say is it looks as though you're not going to be using special elite troops until you have, you know, secured yourself a fief or something like that, because you can see here it says income 0 towns. I'm assuming that once we have a town, the war spoils will increase. Shall we test it out? I think we should. Oh, now what do we have here? Actually, we have spider riders. We have spider riders? Okay, wait a minute. It actually requires war spoils to even recruit these guys. But yeah, spider riders. These guys are going to be expanded as time goes on, I assume, because at the moment they're not currently like doing anything apart from being these tier 3 units. But I am very excited to see what happens with these guys. Very, very cool to see them. Unfortunately, I won't be able to recruit anyone here. As you can see, we also have, of course, the ability to do some wonderful wonderful fief management. And by the way, you can actually manage your fiefs from a distance. But yeah, let's actually just see what happens, because I have a town now, and as you can see, we have 0.2. Okay, yeah, maybe there is something else that I'm missing. I don't actually know. Maybe there is something here. Maybe I need to, I don't know, open the stash or something like that. Maybe there's something going on with that as well. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go and take a look at the mod options. Alright, so the mod options are here, and indeed, as you can see, we have a massive scroll bar on the right side. So, casualty ratios, huge amounts of customization in regards to this. Troop power, same thing. Look at this. Look at what we can actually do here. It even tells you the vanilla rating for all of this stuff as well, so you can, you know, make it more powerful than the vanilla tiers, or you can make them, well, less powerful. So yeah, very, very cool. Then we also have siege dismount. So this basically means that, you know, siege auto dismount feature went off, sieges behave vanilla, so the mount stays equipped. You can enable siege dismount, so immediately your cavalry are going to be dismounting, which is really, really nice. Then you have mixed formations. When off, formations use vanilla positioning. When on, formations with mixed melee plus ranged units are reordered per the chosen layout while holding position. And indeed, you can see here, you can cycle the layout. There are any number of different things here. Look at this. Default layout, infantry front, range front, 2 wings, 3 checkerboard. Default layout auto-applied to mixed class formations. So there's a huge amount to do here as well. Obviously, you can dive into that a little bit more as time goes on. And then you have smart cavalry AI. So when off, cavalry uses for the vanilla charge logic, and when on, the player's cavalry formations execute coordinated line charges with pass-through plus reform behavior, and a number of other things. Then you have companion roles. As you can see right here, they'll be assigned a particular role. So for example, bows or infantry, you know, stuff like that. Then you have, what is this? The order of battle. Show role indicators on hero items. Okay, very cool. Then we have formation presets. So as you can see, this is obviously a work in progress. That's not done yet. And then we have the battle action bar. Show contextual action bar during field battles. So 1 to 9 hotkeys for stance toggle. Stances are display only. They record state but do not change formation behavior. And there's a bunch of other things as well. For example, volley fire 2. Volley fire is going to be super amazing with crossbows. Can you imagine? Yeah, I cannot imagine how amazing that's going to be. So yeah. We also have quick actions here. So this is when off, inventory, sell all, uses vanilla. When on, it opens a 4-option menu. Then you can also have inventory search as well. And then you have selling your damaged items. You can sell damaged items. You have a custom threshold for this and everything. Then you can sell low value items. So you can sell low value food, etc., etc. And then you also have confirmation dialogue, playing sounds, and so on. Then you have enable equipment presets. So when off, the presets overlay is not added to the inventory screen and existing presets are inert. In other words, you can actually, I assume, have a variety of different equipment types. So for example, let's say that you want to switch to your siege layout before you go into a siege, and then change into your field battle outfit when you're about to go into a field battle. I think that that is absolutely fantastic. Then we also have settlement nameplates. As you can see, enable settlement fade. That's obviously just, you know, cosmetic stuff like that, whatever you'd like. Bandit scaling, you can do some crazy cool things with this. So basically you can literally create an absolute utopia where there are no bandits, or you can, on the other hand, go for a dystopia, and you can literally just make huge amounts of bandits spawn and attack everyone, and it's going to be crazy. And then you have the recruitment alignment. So you can see, obviously, the fact that basically, good units can't recruit evil units, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. And then you can also do this, where when on, only a free aligned recruiter is blocked from evil controlled settlements. Evil recruiters may recruit anywhere. When off, which is the default, the block is symmetric. So for example, free and evil each refuse the other, which is very nice in my opinion. And then you also have AI strategic intelligence. This is also something that I'm very excited about, because this means that the enemy AI and indeed the allied AI are going to be so much smarter, because as you can see right here, when enabled, AI armies stick to their current target rather than re-optimizing every 3 hours. This reduces army thrashing and improves siege follow-through. Then you have the commitment multiplier and the evil faction aggression scale and everything else here that you could ever want. Then you have castle recruitment. So, castles gain notables with recruitable volunteers. The player can recruit troops at any accessible castle, so that's extremely, extremely cool in my opinion. Then you have culture conversion, so when enabled, the town castle conquered by a different culture gradually adopts the new owner's culture. I personally love that. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Then you have the encyclopedia, settlement food tuning, obviously that stuff, siege defense events. When enabled, you receive an event when a watched faction's settlement is besieged with a timed window to help defend. That's fun too. And then you also have troop weight. So if you don't like the fact that cave trolls take up 4 times the amount of space that a regular unit does, then you can just disable this. All of this is completely 100% customizable, and I absolutely love that. I think that is so extremely fun. Then, of course, you have the War of the Ring. If you don't like the War of the Ring and you just want to play sandboxy, then you can, of course, turn that off as well. Then you also have time acceleration here, so, you can basically speed things up massively if you want to. And then, of course, you have messengers, which is obviously fantastic. I personally love these because it just literally, it's just such a nice thing to do, to be able to speak to someone halfway across the map without having to go and speak to them manually. That's always nice. And then you have enable fief management, and you can obviously see here, when on, you can manage any owned fief from anywhere via F6. Oh, there you go. See, that's what I was actually wondering about right there. And when off, the manage option is disabled unless you are physically at the selected fief. So that's really, really fun. In other words, what we would be able to do is I could move over here. I'm just going to go extra fast forward. There we go. I'm just going to go over here, and then I'm going to press F6. This might crash. It doesn't. There you go. Okay, there you go. And that's it. And then you can literally manage your fief however you so desire. I can literally put all my money in there because, well, it doesn't really matter, but, I could put all my money in there if I wanted to. Apparently, it does not. Oh, no, it does actually work for me to go out here. But yeah, I'm actually wondering how it's going to be if you have multiple fiefs. But yeah, very, very interesting. Boom. Yeah, super, super nice. Love the fact that you can actually do that, because that is going to make, once again, journeying across the map so much better, because you're not going to have to do it. You don't have to go back to your fief, considering your fief might be, let's say my fief is all the way in, I don't know, Dol Amroth, and I don't want to go all the way over there. Then I can just press F6 and everything is fine. So yeah, this has, in my opinion, come such a long way. I am extremely impressed that they've been able to make so much headway. Everything has been improved, from just the most basic stuff, just the stuff that has been incorporated, like, as I said, being able to manage your fiefs remotely, that stuff. And then you've also got stuff that, is completely different, like adding all these different units, adding goblins, for example. That's going to be super, super fun. And then you obviously have Rune and wait a minute, these guys, I haven't seen these guys. They are chariots. Ooh, that's fun. Yeah, so yeah, you can even get those guys. And I think you might even be able to get those. You might not be able to get those from regular troops. I'm actually not entirely sure about that. But yeah, I am very much looking forward to seeing exactly what is going to happen with this mod. But by all means, check out the mod. Become a supporter if you want to. Otherwise, that is going to be it for this video. If you would like to check out some of my previous work on Tales from the Age of Men, then there will be links in the description to the various playlists there as well. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.